as Aston Villa targets second major trophy against Freiburg. This is the news hour. AIT, I'm Hadiza Audu.
And I am Olamide Ario. Apologies for starting behind schedule. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi, and former Managing Director of FSB International Bank Mohammed Hayatuddin appeared before the African Democratic Congress Presidential Screening Panel for screening ahead of the 2027 general election. The chairman of the panel, former Cross River State Governor Dieli Moke, screened the aspirants who presented their credentials for verifications behind closed doors in Abuja, where they presented their credentials as part of the party's presidential nomination process. During his screening before the former president laid before the panel bold economic rescue blueprints, a comprehensive security action plan for a nation bleeding from economic distress and escalating insecurity. Atiku, who was unable to speak to the media after his screening, but later released a statement through his senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, described the engagement as far more than a routine party process, saying it was an opportunity to present his economic blueprints anchored on job creation, private sector expansion, fiscal discipline, stable macroeconomic management, and a renewed commitment to restoring Nigeria. While speaking with the media after his appearance, the former managing director of FSB International Bank, Mohammed Hayatuddin, expressed confidence in the process and prepared for whichever mode of candidate selection the party adopts.
It was a seamless exercise. Loads and loads of documents, if you are familiar with the screening process, were requested from us. And therefore, each of these documents needed to be verified. And each member of the panel needed to cite it to corroborate for them to reach an agreement that these documents are valid. So, and then there were a couple of questions that were asked, which I'm not at liberty to disclose, in terms of one's knowledge of the party, the manifesto, the constitution, and one's knowledge of what it takes to govern a country.
As at the time this report was filed, the former governor of Rivers State and former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, did not appear for his screening, but a member of the committee who decided to remain anonymous told AIT that the aspirant is being expected for screening before the end of the exercise. The coalition party is expected to conclude the exercise ahead of consultation that will determine whether the ADC will adopt a consensus mode or proceed to a direct primary to pick its presidential candidates for the 2027 general election.
The Social Democratic Party, SDP, has re-elected Alhaji Musa Shehu Gabam as its national chairman. In a sweeping move to end its internal crisis, the party also expelled several key factional leaders. The decisions were reached during the party's national convention in Abuja, following a closed-door National Executive Committee meeting. AIT's correspondent, Ogehi Mekbe, tells us more.
Those against say nay.
The convention floor in Abuja was charged with political activity as delegates gathered to decide the party's future. Top on the agenda was cleansing the party of alleged anti-party elements. Among those expelled, Al-Factional Chairman Sadiq Abubakar Gombe, former National Secretary Olu Agunloye, and the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Prince Adewale Adebayo. Despite the disciplinary actions, National Chairman Shehu Gabam stated that the party remains open to genuine reconciliation.
Those who sought to weaken this party through propaganda, misinformation, false narrative, we bear no bitterness. Leadership demand focus beyond distraction. We remain committed to our historical assignment of building the Social Democratic Party into the foremost platform for national renewal, social justice, equitable governance.
Leadership urged aggrieved members to return to the fold to build a formidable front for future elections, emphasizing that these measures were necessary to enforce party discipline.
But a decision has been reached and a resolution has been reached for the expulsion of those members for anti-party activities. And then the NWC has been saddled with the responsibility to make new decisions moving forward.
The party also utilized the National Convention to conduct its primary election, setting the stage for upcoming election contests. Ogie Ihimekmen, AIT News, Abuja.
The incumbent representative of Surulere Constituency 1 at the Lagos State House of Assembly, Desmond Elliott, at the last minute has pulled out of the race for another 4-year tenure following what he attributed as intimidation against his supporters during the party primary at the 6 wards under his constituency. While addressing his supporters at the Ward G, 2 and 3 inside Gbajamini Stadium, Surulere, Desmond Elliott faulted the process as he officially announced his discontinuation with the exercise. Meanwhile, the Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the co-aspirant for the Surulere 1 constituent ticket, Baraka Odunaga Bakari, in their separate remarks commend the primary as hitch-free without any intimidation or anyone whatsoever.
The All Progressives Congress, APC, has conducted its House of Assembly primary elections across the 18 local government areas of the state, with party leaders and observers describing the exercise as largely peaceful and well coordinated. Most constituencies adopted consensus candidates, while voting was peacefully conducted in areas where contests were held. AIT's Olushola Adeshunya, who monitored the exercise in some local government areas, reports that party faithful commended the transparent conduct of the primaries. The APC House of Assembly primaries commenced early in many parts of Ondo State, with party officials, delegates, and aspirants arriving at designated venues under adequate security presence. In several constituencies visited, party stakeholders embraced the consensus arrangement, leading to the emergence of candidates without rancor. Party chieftains and delegates who spoke during the exercise expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the primaries, describing the process as orderly, transparent, and devoid of violence.
The turnout is impressive. It's actually impressive, you know, considering what happened, particularly in this ward about 2 days ago, you know. Ordinarily, I wouldn't expect this number of people to come out again today.
This is the third in the series of primary elections held in this center here, around these senatorial districts. Peaceful.
This is my ward. Aside from my ward, if you have gone around, you will see I'm a woman of a few words, but my action speaks better. So as after now, I'm sure my people won't regret having me in as their MHA.
Observers say the successful conduct of the primaries may further strengthen the APC's preparations for the forthcoming elections in the state.
The Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has emerged winner of the senatorial primary election conducted by the All Progressive Congress for the Nasarawa North Senatorial District ahead of the 2027 general elections. The primary election, which was held in the state, saw Sule secure a total of 47,393 votes to defeat his only challenger, Silas Ali, who polled 2,915 votes. Declaring the results, returning officer Musa Shaibu described the exercise as peaceful, transparent, and successful. He stated that Sule satisfied all requirements of the party's constitution and electoral guidelines, having secured the highest number of valid vote cast in the primary election. The event was attended by several party leaders and government officials, including the Secretary to the Nasarawa State Government, Labaran Shuaibu, the Nasarawa State APC Chairman, Aliyu Bello, members of the National Assembly Primary Election Committee, as well as returning officers from Akwanga, Wamba, and Nasarawa Egon local government area. Sule's victory by a margin of more than 44,000 votes is widely seen as a strong indication of his political influence in Nasarawa North as he prepares to represent the APC in the 2027 senatorial election.
Let's now take you to Kano State, where Governor Abba Yusuf has praised political stakeholders for embracing consensus in the emergence of senatorial candidates ahead of the 2027 general elections, describing the process as peaceful and free from major disagreements. The governor stated this during the affirmation of Senator Kawu Sumaila as the consensus candidate for Kano South Senatorial District. expressing confidence that elected lawmakers would work closely with the state government to accelerate development across Kano State.
Thousands of supporters and members of the ruling All Progressives Congress gathered on this open field in Kano South Senatorial District to witness the formal affirmation of Senator Karl Sumaila for another term ahead of the 2027 elections. Governor Abba Yusuf, who attended the event, said the peaceful consensus arrangement reflects unity and political maturity among party leaders and supporters in the state.
Any lawmaker elected under this consensus arrangement must put the interests of the people first. We expect stronger collaboration with the state government, so together we can bring more federal presence to our people. And I know that Senator Sumaila has done this in many ways since his election into the National Assembly.
Governor Yusuf highlighted ongoing projects under his administration while calling on residents to sustain their support for the government.
In the last 2 years, our administration has continued to invest heavily in education, healthcare, road construction, not leaving the rural government areas out of it. We have had lots of youth and women empowerment. We are rebuilding schools, improving hospitals, and opening up rural communities.
The consensus arrangement has continued to shape the political landscape in Kano as aspirants seeking election and re-election into the National Assembly have largely accepted the outcomes across senatorial districts and federal constituencies. Enemona Ocheme, AIT News, Kano.
And the primaries of the All Progressive Congress APC, as monitored by AIT in LML local government area, saw a large number of party supporters who came to show solidarity to the ideals of the Renewed Hope and the Rainbow Coalition. The primary saw the declaration of the lawmaker representing LML State constituency in the River State House of Assembly, Igwe Ofoji, as the winner and flag bearer of the APC for the forthcoming election.
The primary election in Ward 10 LMA local government area witnessed a large turnout of party supporters under the umbrella of the Renewed Hope family, who were excited to elect a man they described as God sent to the people of LMA due to his exceptional performance as a legislator. Speaking at the venue of the exercise, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress APC, Felix Moka, and other leaders from the Southeast Senatorial District expressed satisfaction with the level of enthusiasm amongst party faithful and charged them to sustain the tempo.
Let me begin by thanking all of you for coming out today to participate in this experience of democracy. This is what democracy is about.
I have come here to escort my friend, to enable him see things for himself, so that when people who do not understand the politics of River State will speak against what we are doing in River State, my brother will quietly and diligently explain to them that I have come to River State, I have seen what is happening.
Our leader, the FCT minister, I cannot describe him here because he has been wonderful to everybody. He has been extremely wonderful to LMA people. He has shown us too much friendship and love. We have no reason to disappoint him. So take this message to them. I'm speaking on behalf of our people to say that we are one people.
On his part, the elected candidate of the party, Afoji Igwe, and the council chairman, Obarilomate Olo, assured the national leadership of victory ahead of the main election.
As we fly the flag of our party come January, be rest assured, national, that we will deliver 100%, and you'll be proud of River State. So, when it comes to politics, local politics, we have held all youth presidents, all the offices we have been there. We know that these are our people, and I can tell you, we have won already. This crowd you are seeing here, they came here on their own volition. It's not like because they are supporting the party. Nobody mobilized them.
The primaries took place simultaneously across the 10 wards of LMA local government area, with officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on ground to monitor the process.
A federal court in Abuja has rejected a bid by Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke and other politicians to join a lawsuit seeking the deregistration of several political parties over alleged constitutional breaches. Justice Peter Lifu dismissed the joinder request, ruling that their respective political parties are already defendants in the case, and so individual membership are legally unnecessary.
This is a case that will determine whether political parties like ADC and Accord will continue to exist. It was filed by the incorporated trustees of the National Forum of former legislators who want INEC to draw recognition to not just Accord and the ADC, but the Action Alliance APP and Zenith Labour Party. The plaintiffs argued that the parties failed to meet mandatory constitutional requirements for electoral spread and performance to maintain their legal registration. Incidentally, the political parties sought to be deregistered have become a strong political breed for politicians who have either been estranged from their parties or are looking for a platform to contest elections. One of them is Governor Ademola Adeleke, who was forced to leave the PDP due to intractable internal crises. He is now of the Accord Party, where he is seeking a re-election in August this year. This is why they sought to be joined to the case, particularly after the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice filed a motion supporting the deregistration request of the plaintiffs. But Justice Peter Lifu turned down the applications on the ground that the political parties are already listed as defendants and constituted the legal parties in the suit. The judge also turned down the request to pause the trial. He ruled that the case is already at an advanced stage and halting it now will cause a severe hardship to the other parties involved. The judge emphasized the urgency of the matter, noting that political parties must soon submit candidate names for upcoming elections. The case is said to resume on the 5th of June. Dimas Nanzung, AIT News, Abuja.
And you're still watching the news on AIT. We'll go on a short break. Business Report is next.
Has resumed the third and final phase of the nationwide continuous voter registration CVR. The exercise, which commenced on Monday, 11th of May 2026, will close on Friday, 10th of July 2026, and is open to persons who have never registered before or turned 18 years after the last registration exercise. Intending voters can visit the INEC voter registration portal at www.cvr.inecnigeria.org to pre-register online and proceed to complete the process at any INEC office to capture their fingerprints and photograph. Citizens can also register physically at any INEC state or LGA office. If your PVC is lost or damaged, do not register afresh. Simply visit the online registration portal or any INEC office and apply for a replacement. You can also T-transfer or update your personal information during this period. Make your voice heard. Get registered. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, you sef go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course na, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
With Lipton tea, warmth does more than fill a cup. It brings people closer. Lipton tea is for togetherness.
We don't like to eat better.
More nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Oh, remember how mom used to wake up before everybody to make breakfast, iron our uniform? Let's surprise that woman with something special.
Treasure Mom this 2026 with a trip to Zanzibar in the 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Write a note using each letter in your mom's name and upload with a photo of 5,000 Naira worth of 3 Crowns products on our website or at any of our collection centers. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
You make choices every day. Your essential routine shouldn't be one of them. Start with Nivea Men Deep Body Lotion with Max Tech, powered by Black Carbon, that gives you 48 hours moisture. Then, lock in that powerful dark wood scent with Nivea Men Deep Roll-On with Max Tech that gives you 72 hours sweat and odor protection. Skin is for playing it smart. Nivea is for skin. Nivea Men, proud sponsors of Real Madrid.
Hello and welcome to Business Reports. I am Yemi Adebayo. Now, Nigeria's monetary authorities have maintained a cautious stance as the Central Bank of Nigeria retained the monetary policy rate at 26.5% despite easing inflationary pressure in recent months. At the 305th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardozo, said the decision followed a broad assessment of domestic and global economic risks. He noted that while inflation has shown marginal moderation over 2 consecutive months, underlying pressures remain strong, necessitating policy caution to stabilize the economy.
Citing rising global economic tensions and increasing energy costs, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria retained all key monetary parameters while expressing confidence in the country's ongoing economic reform. Speaking at the 305th MPC meeting in Abuja, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardozo, welcomed Nigeria's recent sovereign credit rating upgrade, describing it as a reflection of improving macroeconomic fundamentals. He also dismissed reports suggesting the nation's foreign reserve were being depleted by the Apex Bank's intervention.
The answer is that it's not true. When this administration took over, you roughly had foreign exchange turnover on a daily basis of about 100 million US. As at today, it's roughly about 550 million US, roughly. And at times it has spiked as high as $1 billion on a daily basis. Not every day, but it has spiked.
Responding to questions from journalists, Cardozo said credit to small businesses has improved, noting that Nigerian banks are now in stronger position to support economic growth following successful completion of the banking recapitalization exercise.
That the volume of new credits are going to the SME sector have increased. They have increased. And now they can be attributed to various things. It can be attributed to various things, not least of which is the fact that many of the commercial banks now, perhaps, and I cannot speak for them, but perhaps they are recalibrating.
For many Nigerians and small business owners already burdened by rising costs, the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to retain the lending rate means that lending conditions will remain tight. even as the monetary authorities insist the measures are necessary to restore price and stability. Landry Balola, AIT News, Abuja.
And now, stakeholders in Nigeria's public and private sectors are calling for a shift from trade relations to deeper investments, driven partnerships with India ahead of the 4th India-African Forum Summit in New Delhi. At a strategic roundtable organized by the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, participants emphasized the need for Nigeria to leverage the summit for industrial expansion, technology transfer, and job creation. President of the Chamber, Chief Emeka Obegolu, said Nigeria must move beyond basic trade engagements and focus on strengthening local manufacturing capacity. Former ACCI President Adetokunbo Kayode also urged targeted agreements in infrastructure, energy, agriculture, and housing. The meeting concluded with the proposal for a structured Nigeria-Indian trade and investment roadmap.
So we also, as Africans, we should not just go empty-handed and just be collecting products from them to come and sell. We have to also get our own products, area of our own strength that we will need to sell to them. Nigeria is a very important economy in Africa, and India also is a very big market that if we are able to get 1, 2, 3 products that we will sell to India, we will be able to make a very big catch.
For now, we would like to articulate MOUs, get MOUs signed from sectors across, healthcare, ICT, renewable energy, sectors. These are sectors that the Indians are very, very strong at.
Now let's look at what the market is saying today. The Nigerian exchange closed today on a bearish note as investors traded more than 557 million shares, worth nearly 30 billion naira. That's a heavy session, but the picture gets more interesting when we break it down. Overall, activity slowed across the board. Volume dropped by 21%, turnover eased by 7%, and total deals fell by 12%. So yes, less momentum in today's session compared to previous trading day. Now to the benchmark. The NGS All-Share Index slipped by 1.04%, closing at 248,949 points, a clear reflection of profits taken across key sectors. On the losers chart, the pressure was led by heavyweights. Boa Cement topped the decliners, followed by chemicals and allied products, E-Transact International, and international breweries. A clear sign that investors were locking in gains in select industrial and consumer stocks. But it wasn't all red. On the gainers board, FG Sukuk led the pack, followed by Zichis Agro Allied, Associated Bus Company, Japal Gold and Ventures, and Mark Nicholas. So we are still seeing pockets of resilience in the market. In terms of activity, Access Holdings dominated trading volumes with 54.5 million shares exchanged, followed by Japal Gold and Ventures and Zenith Bank. And here is the bigger story for today. Despite today's dip, the market is still up more than 60% year to date, a strong signal that investors' appetite for equities remain firmly intact. So yes, a negative close today, but the bigger picture still tells a growth story. That's how the market closed. And that's Business Report. The news hour continues with the rest of the crew. I am Yemi Adebayo.
Milky and creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids.
Give more strength to your hair with Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener. It's infused with nourishing oils and conditioning proteins so you can say goodbye to hair breakage. Wow! Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener.
Oh, remember how mom used to wake up before everybody to make breakfast, iron our uniform? Let's surprise that woman with something special.
Treasure Mom this 2026 with a trip to Zanzibar in the 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Write a note using each letter in your mom's name and upload with a photo of 5,000 naira worth of 3 Crowns products on our website or at any of our collection centers. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Mr. Chef, it's a 2-finger crush.
Pass with the chicken and all purpose.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
the true taste of home
and culture.
Chef of life. Come on, let's go.
Darling natural twists blend with her hair over time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's really more beautiful every week. Darling natural twists get better every day, just like you.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet comes with the nutrients they need every day. Made from natural grains, contains protein and fortified with iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
My Oga, welcome, sir.
Apologies. We need to look at this report.
What can we offer you?
Don't worry, I'll soon be leaving.
I'm coming.
Huh? Mr. Chef, it's a two-finger crush.
Pass the beef and crayfish.
I am the chef of life. I am the chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef.
And Yola, we got this.
Food is ready, sir.
I was about to take my leave.
Mazi, Iriga Digo.
With Mr. Chef, a simple crush turns meals into culture and moments into memories.
This is the true taste of home.
And culture.
Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
It's been 3 years since President Bola Tinubu was sworn in as a Nigerian leader. He promised to fix the economy, address rising insecurity, create jobs, and fight for the interests of citizens both home and abroad. As President Tinubu seeks re-election in 2027, has he delivered on his promises? And does his performance so far merit a second term? AIC News begins a special May 29 review countdown series, where we interrogate the Tinubu administration's deliverables across various sectors of national life. Join us on the AIC News Hour from May 18, 2026.
And welcome back from the break. Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, cries out, condemns attacks, kidnapping, and killings of teachers in Oyo and Borno states.
President Bola Tinubu has directed all federal ministries, departments, and agencies to fully adopt digitalized work processes as part of sweeping reforms aimed at modernizing Nigeria's civil service. The president, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, gave the directive on Wednesday in Abuja while declaring open the International Civil Service Conference 2026. The conference brings together over 5,000 participants from 16 countries of the world.
The 2026 conference themed Reforms, Resilience and Results brings together over 5,000 participants from 16 countries, and declaring the event open, President Bola Tinubu said the civil service must embrace speed, accountability and data-driven decision-making.
Accordingly, all ministries and extra-ministerial departments are hereby directed to sustain and deepen their digitalized work process. The era of manual inefficiency must give way to a culture of speed, transparency, data-driven decision-making, and citizen-centered service.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Wilson-Jack, announced that 38 federal ministries and extra-ministerial departments have advanced to the paperless governance through the One Government Cloud platform. She says this conference opens new chances for civil service reforms.
ICSC 2026 is structured across 8 stages: aspire, innovate, activate, accelerate, accomplish, rejuvenate, transform, and impact.
Speakers, including the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, highlighted the importance of intentional reforms and outcomes that positively impact citizens' lives.
The key takeaway is that reforms have to be deliberate,
systems must be resilient, and at the end of the day, the results must be felt by the people we serve. Kedenojo Okoliko, AIT News, Abuja.
And Nigeria's leading gas infrastructure company, Greenville LNG, has commissioned 5 new compressed natural gas CNG stations in Kano State as part of effort to deepen clean and affordable gas energy transition agenda of the President Tinubu administration. The commissioning ceremony held in Kano State featured a live demonstration of CNG-powered vehicles being fueled, and the event drew top government officials and stakeholders in the nation's energy sector.
We hereby commission this Greenville CNG station for the benefit of the transport sector in Kano State and for the overall benefit of Nigeria.
The facilities commissioned on behalf of Vice President Kashim Shettima by his Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Azan Adejia, is expected to provide cleaner and cheaper alternatives to other heavier and costlier fossil fuel in line with the federal government gasification energy agenda.
There's a demand, there's the need here for very competitive solutions for the population and for the industries. And that's why Kano was a natural choice. And from here, we are going further into the northwest, from Sokoto, Katsina, all the way across to Borno State.
All these CNG operations, it is going to reduce the cost of transport by more than 65 to 70%. So you can see the cascading effect of this fuel cost. In a time to come, you will see because of the lower cost of transport, other cost, inflation and other activity will be tamed down.
I want to extend the thank you.
Speaking during the event, Director Administration at Greenville, Joseph Oyadoyin, unveiled the company's ambitious nationwide expansion plan, revealing that 69 CNG stations are targeted for inauguration by the company across the country, with several allocated to Kano State alone.
And Kano is very lucky because as of today, we have 4 stations. We have Galaxy that have been commissioned today. We have Camaras. We have Ashanko. Mohiba is on the pipeline. And in the next 2 weeks, we are commissioned Kano Zara station, which is located in Dagasale. If you look at our banner, we said we are going to generate 69 stations or no before 2027. When you look at the list, 15 has been earmarked for Northwest, and Kano, as of today, is having 5 stations.
The event attracted key government officials, transport operators, and industry stakeholders, including Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf and PICNG Chairman Ismail Ahmed. It ended with a live demonstration of CNG-powered vehicles, highlighting its cost-saving and cleaner energy benefits. During a previous visit to Greenville LNG's Rumuji plant in Rivers State, Ismail Ahmed described the company as a strategic partner in the federal government gas transition agenda. Landry Babalola, AIT News, Kano.
From dark living rooms to quiet factories spending millions on diesel generators, electricity remains Nigeria's most stubborn economic bottleneck. 3 years ago, President Bola Tinubu promised sweeping reforms to light up the nation, even asking Nigerians not to vote for him again if he does not fix the power problem. But with 1 year to another year of election, Nigerians are still waiting in the dark, asking tough questions about bills and blackouts. AIT's Yemi Adebayo reviews the promises, the policies, and the painful realities of the nation's power sector.
Electricity drives economies. Without it, factories shut down and jobs disappear. Yet, for decades, Nigeria's power sector has been trapped in a cycle of low generation, fragile transmission, and broken distribution networks. When President Tinubu took power in May 2023, the nation of over 200 million people survived on a meager 4,000 to 4,500 megawatts. Experts blame the lack of money, heavy debt, and obsolete equipment. But President Bola Tinubu sounded ultra-confident.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity. And you will not pay.
Tinubu even went further to pledge to Nigerians that if he does not fix the electricity problem, he should not be voted if he seeks re-election.
A promise made will be a promise kept. If I couldn't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
The administration quickly signed the Electricity Act into law. This historic move broke the federal monopoly, allowing states to generate and distribute their own power. Billions were funneled into metering, new substations, and private partnerships. In May 2023, when the president took over, power generation was between 4,000 to 4,005 megawatt average and 5,800 megawatt peak. Comparatively, by May 2026, it is at 5,000 plus megawatt average and 6,000 plus megawatt peak. But statistics do not light up homes. Despite a marginal increase in generation, the national grid remains notoriously fragile. It collapses repeatedly, plunging the entire country into darkness at the slightest strain. The data in 2023 shows multiple grid collapses. In 2024, multiple outages and transmission failures. In 2025 and 2026, more grid collapses totaling about 15 since the president took over. Engineers say the grid cannot handle the power currently being generated. Transmission lines are weak, old, and prone to breaking.
When you generate electricity, the losses that is being incurred before it even gets to the distribution level is huge. And the incentive for these technical losses is because there are no check and balances for efficiency.
Then came the financial shock of 2024. The government slashed subsidies and introduced a tiered tariff system. Band A, 20 hours daily supply will pay the highest tariff, and B's 16 hours minimum daily supply. Band C, 12 hours minimum daily supply. Band D, 8 hours minimum daily supply. And Band E, 4 hours daily. High tariffs, estimated bills, low supply.
We enter Band A, they give us the assurance that there will be stable lights. There will be nothing like a power outage or this and now. Whenever we have any power failure, we should call them on phone. But these days, it's not like that.
You have 2 hours in the day, sometimes an hour a day.
If you don't get money, no way to buy fuel. You will stay. If you come to work, you will stay idle. In a difficult time.
Government defenders split for patience. They argue that fixing decades of rot takes time and state-led power markets will eventually pay off.
There may be small pain, but we'll get there. Because we are going to have a disciplined approach to address this. I'll come and present to you what our plan is.
But for millions of citizens, patience is running thin. 3 years into the administration, power supply remains the ultimate test of government performance. Yemi Adebayo, AIT News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Union of Teachers says it's received with deep sadness and outrage the news of horrific attacks carried out by armed bandits on local authority primary school in Hauru Esiele Community High School and Baptist Nursery and Primary School Yawota in Orire local government area of Oyo State on Friday, 15th of May 2026. The NUT says the barbaric attacks, which led to the abduction of the high school principal, 7 teachers and over 30 pupils and students, as well as the death of a teacher who was shot in line of duty, has created a deep pain in members' hearts, especially as the teacher was in his union attire when he was shot dead, depicting his passion for the teaching profession and his commitment to the cause and advancement of education for the good of all children and the nation. A statement signed by NUT President Titus Amber and Secretary General John Clinton noted that even more heart-rending is the reported beheading of one of the abducted teachers in the den of the bandits. Again, the Teachers Union said it is worrisome to note that on the same 15th of May 2026, over 40 students were kidnapped by armed bandits from Musa Primary and Junior Secondary School in Borno State. The NUT used the statement to strongly condemn what it calls these wicked and inhumane attacks on innocent educators and learners, end of quote. It said it is unimaginable that schools, which should serve as a safe haven for teaching and learning, have become target of violent attacks by armed bandits and terrorists, adding that the ugly development has created fear, panic, and emotional trauma among teachers, students, parents, and the school community. The NUT said it stands in solidarity with the affected schools, families of the teachers murdered in cold blood, the abducted school principal, teachers and innocent school children, as well as their families, as it calls on security agencies to immediately intensify rescue operations to ensure the safe release of the abducted victims without delay. The NUT also urged the federal government and the government of the affected states to strengthen security around schools and adopt proactive measures to prevent future occurrences, stressing the continued attacks on schools pose a serious threat to the education sector and the future of not only of the children, but also society at large.
The Chief of Defense Staff, political office holders, and other dignitaries at the just concluded NUJ Press Week lecture held in Abuja have tasked Nigerian journalists on urgent need for ethical and responsible reporting, especially as the nation inches closer to the 2027 general elections. The high-profile lecture that drew top dignitaries from both the government, diplomacy, and politics emphasized that democracy thrives only when the public is fed with accurate information, warning that misinformation and sensationalism could undermine public trust and electoral stability in Nigeria.
All over the world, the absence of ethical standards erodes public trust and fuels division and misinformation. This lecture is to deliberate and proffer solutions on defending Nigeria's democracy in the era of disinformation.
In an age where misinformation spread rapidly through digital platforms, the responsibility has become even heavier. We must continue to verify facts, present balanced reporting, and uphold the ethics that give credibility to our profession.
Chief of Defense Staff and his security counterpart, the Inspector General of Police, who were both represented at the event, believed that the challenge of disinformation has become one of the most significant threats to democratic stability in Nigeria.
In pursuit of this duty across various theaters of operation, we have come to recognize more than ever that the press is a partner to the military in the collective effort to build a safe, stable, and prosperous nation.
And up next on the News Eye Sport Track.
Hello there and welcome to Sports Track. I am Lai Lawa, starting off with football. The UEFA Europa League final between German side Freiburg and English club Aston Villa is currently underway at the Topol Stadium in Besiktas, Istanbul, Turkey. Aston Villa are chasing their second major European title, having won the European Cup, now the UEFA Champions League in 1982. Villa manager Unai Emery is also seeking a record fifth Europa League title, having won the competition 3 times with Sevilla and once with Villarreal. Coincidentally, Aston Villa are again facing German opposition in a European final, just as they did in 1982 when they defeated Bayern Munich 1-0 to claim the European Cup. It's currently half-time in that encounter between Freiburg and Aston Villa. Yuri Tillemans scored the first goal in the 41st minute, while Emiliano Buenda scored the second goal in the 45 minutes. It's currently half-time, and the match is currently underway. All right, moving on, Southampton have appealed their removal from the championship playoffs after being sanctioned for spying on opponents. An independent EFL disciplinary commission expelled Southampton from the playoffs on Tuesday and reinstated Middlesbrough, who will now face Hull City in Saturday's final. The St. Mary's club were also handed a 4-point deduction for next season after admitting breaches of 2 EFL regulations. Southampton Chief Executive Phil Parsons apologized to supporters but described the punishment as manifestly disproportionate, saying the club accepted wrongdoing but not the severity of the sanction. The club argues the ruling has cost them a chance to compete in the playoff final worth more than £200 million. Meanwhile, Hull City owner has also expressed concern over the late change of opponents and says legal action has not been ruled out. Southampton's appeal will be heard by an independent arbitration panel later on Wednesday. Now, after 22 years of waiting, Arsenal FC are Premier League champions once again, sparking celebrations across North London into the early hours of Wednesday morning. Arsenal players were seen outside Emirates Stadium at around 5 a.m. British summertime following the title triumph. Ibirichi Eze shared Instagram photos alongside Arsenal stars Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka and Jurien Timber as celebrations continued into the morning. The title was confirmed after rivals Manchester City failed to beat Bournemouth, handing Arsenal their first league crown since 2004, while the Cherries sealed qualification for European Championship next season. At Arsenal's training ground, players and staff hugged, danced and chanted victory songs. Declan Rice, who recently won It's Not Done when City defeated Arsenal at the Etihad, posted a celebratory team photo online with the caption, "It's done." That triumph marks a major achievement for manager Mikel Arteta in his 7th season in charge of the Gunners. Meanwhile, congratulatory messages have been pouring in for Arsenal from high-profile supporters and dignitaries. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer posted 22 long years for Arsenal. But finally, we are back where we belong. Champions. London Mayor Sadiq Khan congratulated Arsenal on becoming the first London club in almost a decade to win the Premier League title. 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton also joined the celebrations online with the message, "Come on, you Gunners." Arsenal now turn their attention to their UEFA Champions League final later this month, where they hope to complete a historic double against Paris Saint-Germain. That's about it for sports. Many thanks for watching. I am Lai Lawal.
And that is the news hour on EIT. I am Olamide Ario.
I'm Hadiza Aldo. Thanks for staying with us.
Healthy.
This is the cool view. What do I do with my knife? Here we go.
How hard is it to get land and start a farm? It takes more than most people have. More like 60 years ago, Fairfax County was transitioning from being dairy farms to being suburbs.
That development there was the front field. And if you go further, that's the Thompson field. And if you go across the street, that's the Weissman field. And if you go over there, that's Bradley Thompson's. And so all of these are old farmers from 50 years ago or 60 years ago who rented us property all along this road, all the way to Tyson's Corner.
And so when my parents bought this piece of property, there were no suburban developments around here. It was a 2-lane highway, Route 7, which is now currently a 6-lane highway. And all the old dairy farmers were sitting on their property waiting to sell it and waiting to make a lot of money. If you can believe this, the land that was sold adjacent to our property in 2008 was $500,000 an acre undeveloped. An insane amount of money to have to spend to come up with to grow vegetables. What's the solution? What the populace needs to do is say, that farming is important to them and that it's just as important as parkland or other public amenities that people really enjoy living near. And this is a big step toward keeping agriculture going in a metropolitan area. Farming basically means at the end of the year, hopefully you've paid all your bills. But that doesn't mean you have any money left to start the next season unless you happen to have such a good season. CSA is a great fit for our farm. I think I have about 600 CSA members.
Happy to be here. We're so blessed, yes.
My father used to borrow $25,000 at the beginning of the season and pay it back to the bank in September. Instead of that now, we ask our customers if we can borrow that money, and they give it to us in February and willingly, and then we pay them back in vegetables through the season.